Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So the other week we did discuss the brief historical background of science and technology in the Philippines. And now we will proceed with another lesson. And this time we'll be talking about the government policies on science and technology. And of course, just a reminder before we proceed to please take down notes on some important details because there might be informations that will be mentioned here in our lecture which will not be shown on your lecture notes. And also, by the end of this lesson, there will be a short activity for you to do so. That is to be sure that you are really watching the lecture and I am not just wasting my time making or recording this lecture and you will just simply skip the video. Okay, so every detail in this lecture is important and I want you to take down notes on that. Okay, so let us proceed. So we'll now be talking the government policies on science and technology. Okay. So the Philippine government implemented several programs, projects, and policies to boost the area of science and technology. And the goal here is to prepare the country to meet the demands of technologically driven world and capacitate the Filipinos to live in a world driven by science. So here's Gisela Padilla Concepcion in the year 2015. Concepcion is actually the Vice President for Academic Affairs in UP Diliman or University of the Philippines, Diliman. And Gisela Padilla Concepcion is not only known for her expertise in marine natural products research and the biomolecular and the biomedical sciences, but she is also known for her science advocacies. And Gisela is actually considered as the champion of voluntarism. She is actually very active in the campaign to increase awareness of the importance of science and technology to socio-economic development. And in a year 2015, um, the DOST or the Department of Science and Technology requested the expertise of the National Research Council of the Philippines or the NCPR to consult various sectors in the society to study how Philippines can prepare itself to achieve the ASEAN 2015 goals. And aside from that, Gisela, by the way, is the current professor of marine science and she obtained her bachelor degree and her master degree and her doctorate degree in chemistry in her current institution, which is the UP Diliman. So as I mentioned earlier that in 2015, the Department of Science and Technology requested the expertise of the NCPR to consult various sectors in the society to study how Philippines can prepare itself to achieve the ASEAN 2015 goals. And based on this consultation, the NCPR or the National Research Council of the Philippines recommended policies and programs that will surely increase the competitiveness of the Philippines in the ASEAN region. We've made mention ASEAN, and I do believe that you've heard the word ASEAN before. Now, if I'm going to ask you, what is really the meaning of the acronym ASEAN? So, for your information, ASEAN means the Associations of Southeast Asian Nations. So the ASEAN was established on August 8, 1967, and this was established in Bangkok, Thailand. So please take note of this important information, and this information was not found on your lecture note. Okay, so let's continue. Now, so the NCPR clustered these policies into four. So we have four cluster here, as you can see on your screen. We have the cluster one, which is the social sciences, humanities, education, and international policies and governance. We're gonna be talking about each cluster today. So we'll just have to summarize it. What are the things under each cluster? So for cluster 2, we have physics, engineering, and industrial research, earth and space sciences, and mathematics. And for cluster 3, we have medical, chemical, and pharmaceutical sciences. And for cluster 4, we have biological sciences and agriculture and forestry. Now, under cluster 1, for the social sciences, humanities, education, and international policies and governance, we have here under cluster 1, it includes here the local food security and also integrating the ASEAN awareness in basic education without adding to the curriculum, and developing school infrastructure and providing ICT broadband, and emphasizing teaching in the mother tongue. So in this one, the emphasizing teaching in the mother tongue, this was actually done specifically in public schools. So they're going to teach science in public schools using the mother tongue language, which is, in our case, our mother tongue language is Cebuano. So they're going to teach science in public schools or schools which are supported by the Department of Science and Technology. They're going to teach science by using the mother tongue, which in our part as teachers, it's kind of hard for us, especially that there are terms in science which are difficult to translate in Cebuano. Because if you're gonna use the Bisaya word, there are also words in Bisaya which has a deeper meaning, and not all people can actually understand those deep Bisaya word. Okay. Now for cluster 2. For cluster 2, we have physics, engineering, and industrial research, earth and space sciences, and mathematics. So under this cluster, they stress degrees, licenses, and employment opportunities. And also, the evaluation of Republic Act 9184. So what does Republic Act 9184 stands for? So the Republic Act 9184, it is an act providing for the modernization, standardization, and regulation of the procurement activities of the government and for other purposes. And then they also employ science and technology as an independent mover of development, and they also outright grants for peer monitoring. And for cluster 3, they allow food and drug agencies to conduct evidence-based research as pool of information. And they also guarantee the compliance of drug manufacturing firms with ASEAN harmonized standards by full implementation of the Food and Drug and Administration, the FDA. That is why before you release a brand, especially if it's related to food, skincare products, medicines, those must undergo um, a process of inspection by the Food and Drug Administration or the FDA. If there are products which are released without the FDA being notified, then that must be reported to the FDA in order for that company to stop selling such products which are not FDA approved. But if there are products which are FDA notified, then in that case, if by the sense that it was already being notified, in that sense, the product is okay to be um, placed in the market. However, it is not yet 100% sure. So shall we say it is still under 30% perhaps, since it is being notified, therefore it is on the process of being inspected or being checked. No? And then enacting a law supporting the human genome products. So what is really this human genome products? By definition, human genome is a complete set of nucleic acid sequences for humans. And human genome includes the coding regions of DNA, which encode all the genes between 20,000 to 25,000 of human organism. So that's what human genome means. And establishing an education council dedicated to standardization of pharmaceutical services and cares, and also allotting 2% of the GPD to research. Actually, the DOST are offering scholarships for students if they wish to study in a science school. The DOST will actually give a scholarship. Okay. Okay. Now, for cluster 4, the last one, for biological sciences, agriculture, and forestry. So keeping and protecting biodiversity by full implementation of existing laws, fostering indigenous knowledge system and supporting indigenous peoples. You all know what indigenous knowledge means. We've been discussing this one for the past lessons that we had, and creation of common food and safety standards, and the practice of biosafety and standard modeled by the ASEAN countries. So aside from this policies that I present to you, aside from these policies that are being clustered by the Philippines or by the NCPR, the Philippine Congress has also created various laws related to science and technology. And these laws serve as our legal framework for science and technology in the country. And these laws actually vary according to different themes. So we have conservation, health related, technology building, and supporting basic research, among others. And some regulations and policies are aligned with the international treaties with the UN, the UNESCO, ASEAN, and other international agencies. So as you can see there on your screen, I presented to you a diagram, just assume that this is a diagram, since I have been looking for a chart that could really present well my diagram, but I wasn't able to see one. So as shown here in the diagram, so the development of policies with national goals, considerable treaty, and considerable international treaty commitments, basis of legal frameworks, and response to various social needs, issues, and problems. Therefore, if we are to create a policies for science and technology, programs for science and technology, or projects for science and technology, the national goals, the international treaty, the legal framework, and the social needs must be, take note, must be reflected in crafting the policies, programs, and projects. Therefore, laws pertains to national goals, international treaty, the legal framework of science and technology, and the social needs and issues and problems pertaining or regarding science and technology must be reflected in creating the policies, programs, and projects. Okay, so the science and technologies policies ensure that the whole country and all its people will experience the progress that science can bring. And policies are actually guides to direct all efforts to a goal of developing a scientifically advanced country. So our lecture for today is kind of short because I want to focus more on the different policies that were crafted for science and technology. And again, the diagram is on your screen. Before these policies, the cluster, from the first cluster until the fourth cluster, those were crafted out from the national goals, the international treaty, and the legal framework, and the social needs and issues and problems of science and technology. So before I am going to end this um, lecture, as you can see there on your screen, a short activity for you to do. So you are to comment this one on the YouTube where this video is uploaded. So after you watch the video, you go to the comment section and you comment there your name, your section, of course, and the learnings. So you are to give me 5 important details that you got or you learned from the video lecture. And aside from that, I also made mention the meaning of the acronym ASEAN. And you are to tell me also where it was crafted, the ASEAN. And also the Republic Act 9184, I also mentioned it on the video lecture. You are also to comment that one on the comment section where this video will be uploaded. Okay, so that's it. So the video lecture will be uploaded. The lecture notes will be uploaded tomorrow, and the quiz will also be uploaded a day after tomorrow. So that's all for our lecture today. Thank you, God bless, and have a good day.